If you like talking,
Women.
Ladies.
men,
Topic.
Conversations.
and occasional uninformed politics,
Multiple talking women is for you.
hit it! Okay, everybody, hello. This is Paula Gherkin, the producer of Multiple Talking Women, and we are here with your co-hosts.
Felicity Bramblebush.
And I'm Lana Brown.
And we are here with a very special guest.
Very special.
And right off the bat, I know what you're going to say, and we're both going to say it, I think. He smells really good.
He smells delicious.
Mm-hmm. Definitely the award for the best smelling.
Best smelling person so far
Yes.
we've
I
had.
appreciate you all. That's like the nicest compliment.
Really?
It is. It's good to be
It's
Oh,
good to
yes.
smell
good
good.
smelling.
Let's say his name.
TEHRAN. Am I saying that? Tell me,
You
stop me
said
anytime I blow
You said it as well as I feel like you could say it, so thank you so much.
TEHRAN von Ghazi. But
GHASRI. It's von GHASRI.
GHASRI, there's an R in there.
TEHRAN von GHASRI.
Okay.
Was that correct?
It's a little
That
better?
was very wrong.
Oh,
That was
really?
very
There's
wrong.
no ch?
There's no ch. A lot of people always assume that Middle Eastern names have the ch in the middle. No ch.
Oh.
So the ch is usually denoted with the KH. This is just an H. So it's Tehran. Tehran von GHASRI.
Wow, you'd think I would
GHASRI.
know that.
But
Yeah.
sometimes you take that von out of there. Is that right?
Sometimes they take the von out of there for me. Also, it makes it shorter, makes it easier.
Yeah.
So
Well, this man in front of us is wearing a signature robe, but this robe I have not seen in any of his comedy specials yet. It is Versace, and it is a beautiful color of purple with incredible
Royal.
sleeves. Royal, very royal. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but my platform is skincares. Creams, lotions, oils, and salves, and you are on point.
Oh,
okay?
well, thank you.
You're glowing.
Smells great.
appreciate
Very
you.
creamy.
Blue, beautiful.
Living in California, I'm learning about this thing of self-care. And you look like someone who is well-versed in self-care. You look so comfortable, healthy. And is that sort of your, because you look like you just came from a spa and you're in your ultimate relaxation mode all of the time.
I'm always a pretty chill person.
Right.
I wear bathrobes because, on one hand, I love breaking social constructs. That's basically what I do with my comedy. But on the other hand, I also just like always being comfortable. So it makes it easy. Then I don't have to dress. And as far as my skincare routine, honestly, black don't crack. Like being
I
half
know.
black is the best skin routine you could possibly have. I use like Pond soap, like nothing. I'm just like a bar
You're not
soap
putting
guy.
cream on your face?
No cream
Wow.
on my face.
Wow. What about under eye? Because under eye is also
No
look
under
really
eye.
good.
I probably should use under eye. You all look very well rested, and I probably look very tired in comparison. But that's the thing.
No, mine's mostly cosmetics. You look like you were just born, but also a very sexy grown man.
I
as well.
appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
A
Laura.
nice mix of the two.
Yes.
A
yes.
baby and sexy man.
Grown man. Yeah.
Now, listen, you all know I like to start from the beginning.
Yes.
So I want to know, little Tehran, growing up, when does he know, hey, I might be funny?
Little Tehran knows he's funny from the start.
Oh.
Funny from the start, but didn't know that I would make a career out of it until way past, basically in my end years of school. So
Okay.
finishing law school is when I really
Law
realized
school?
I would make a career out of it. But
Yeah.
before that, I was just a smart ass. I would get in trouble. I thought I was hilarious. My teachers and parents, not so much.
This guy, she's reacting to law school. I was telling you, he's incredibly educated. He is kind of everything, sort of like me, rolled into this one package. There's so much smarts.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your parents raised you. You went to law school.
I did.
And then you decided to become a comedian. How do your parents find this?
You know, at first it was not an easy transition for them, but thankfully I have parents that are supportive of me as a person. And so they figured that I would always find my own path, and they gave me that comfort. Not without some hesitancy on their part, but they did allow that path. They didn't resist it.
Felicity would not allow her. She has a lot of children. I
Oh,
forget how many.
I have.
How many children do you
12,
have?
I have 12 children.
And they can only be lawyers, doctors, or senators.
That's
what she
right.
wants them to
Anytime
be.
someone shows any
Except for the girl.
creativity.
The girl
I
can-
say sit down in front of the TV. Stop doodling. Stop doing things with your hands. Sit and look at the screen, okay? And don't speak to me unless you're on fire, basically.
Well, I admire doctors and lawyers and senators. We need some of those, but creativity is a very important aspect to all of it, especially. And why not the girl? Why just
Because she's going to be a wife.
That's right. My girl.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
She does not expect it to do any of those
No,
things.
no,
because
she's
she
not,
just-
and she's very
she's
small.
just
and
in
she's
training.
Not, she's not developing normally
No,
either.
she's just learning how to
Yeah,
cook and things like
That's
that.
right. Hmm.
I'm so sorry. So your daughter's expected only to become a wife? What if she shows aptitude for science or technology? Or
I would do everything in my power to stop her.
We're best friends, but I don't agree with her on any of that. You know, I'm into
glad.
everybody
Thanks, Lana.
being everything that they can be and that they want to be, which is really you. And one thing I've noticed about you is your comedy is it's like raw and real, and there's always a little twist. Like you're not quite sure what you're going to say, but there's an undercurrent of kindness.
That summed it up perfectly.
Really?
You
Good
yeah,
job.
like you're like this kind person.
surprisingly get me.
I do. I feel like I really do.
It's that's interesting. I think a lot of comedians think, "Oh, I got to be kind of mean. I got to be kind of nasty to get a reaction," and it doesn't have to be that way. Is that what you're getting at?
It's interesting because there has been, especially lately, this darkness to comedy it's not necessary for comedy. On one hand, as the audience, just because they're offended doesn't mean they're right. But as a comedian, just because you're offensive doesn't mean you're funny.
Yeah.
There's a fine line in between, and that is really where comedy should be. And at least that's where I want to find my comedy.
Do you find the kindness reciprocated? Because Hollywood is a hellhole, you know. So do you find that you follow the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated, and you treat people with kindness, and it comes back to you?
I don't think that's the golden rule. I think that it sounds a little more fluid and articulated when they say it. But in general, I try to treat people the way they want to be treated and hope people treat me the way I want to be treated.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Not great. Not great. This is Hollywood. So I do my best.
Oh, you
But
agree
that's the
with that.
thing. So many people want to change the world and so few people just want to change themselves. I can fight the world and my own demons at the same time.
Wow.
God, wow.
You were racially profiled by a homeless man.
I've been racially profiled by a lot of men.
I can relate. Yeah.
Really?
But
Oh,
never
very
women.
much so.
Okay.
Women, I'm sure as well, but with the men, it's a little more. I just feel like whenever men do something, there's always a hint more of danger to what they do.
It's extra, right?
It is. It is. So whenever men are afraid, it's like, yeah, you can be afraid, but a woman, for example, when I leave the nightclub, I just have to get to my car. A woman has to not get murdered.
Yeah.
Like there's a
Right.
lot more
Right.
danger in that situation. It's something that, and points that I talk about in my comedy, which is why you can raise your daughter however you want,
Thank you.
but I'm always for like equality, gender equality, things of this nature. And so I understand that traditionalism, but traditional also means that we're just letting people from the past bully us into our futures. So maybe if we just like expand, maybe your daughter could be the senator. Your daughter could be the senator, and one of your 11 sons could be house.
I
wife.
just think
Cook.
she'd be better off cooking for the senator, which is what I do when my husband's not in.
Your husband's a senator?
He is.
Well, he's not really right now.
Not really right now. No, he's in a rehab facility for his sexual. He's attracted to very old, very white people.
Yeah, that sounds like a senator, actually. I'm going to be very honest. That
Yes.
sounds like all the
Yeah,
senators.
it
I'm
does.
pretty sure Mitch McConnell is exactly the same way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No,
a
they're
mess.
friends. They are really, really tight.
Good for them. Good. Well, and I also appreciate that your husband is evoking his civic duty and being a part of the system, but I just wish that the system included more people.
Mitch McConnell, to me, speaking of like skincare, it's like if you put a pin in him, he would deflate like an old balloon and like dust would come out of the balloon and he would just be on the floor.
Yeah, he's old.
That's what I would
He
do.
is older.
he's
We
very
weren't
old.
speaking about skincare, but that sounds very
Yeah,
appropriate
she can
of a
always
description.
bring
yeah.
it back to skin.
It kind of, that's really,
Can I also say this is just important? It's a side note.
Yes.
I do teach a course on how to walk to your car and not get murdered. So just saying, I'm just throwing that out there if anyone wants to get in touch with
Well,
me.
that's
I
how
have-
you met, right? Not that he was taking that course.
No, he took another course. From me,
What
a
you thought
different
I was
course
trying to
from me.
murder Paula on the way to the one person I would never ever try to murder on the way to
See?
their car is Paula.
Is
I
me.
honestly feel like Paula energy. Paula would murder everyone
it.
trying to murder.
It's about energy.
Oh,
It's
no.
about walking with energy. It's about, keeping your arms out so they think you're kind of jacked.
But did you take a
yeah.
walk with energy class from Paula? Because she teaches a lot of these classes.
no, but I would
Yeah,
take
you would.
a
Okay.
walk with energy
Okay,
class.
well,
with
how did
Paula.
you all meet?
I don't know if you know, I do have an Etsy store for bathrobes.
Yeah, I order bathrobes from Paula. She was actually one of my first bathrobe sponsors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What sort of bathrobes do you sell on your site?
What do you mean? What sort? They're bathrobes. They're
I know,
a
but
terry
what
cloth,
he-
a cotton.
Tehran's wearing a Versace. It's
And that's no knock to your bathrobes. Honestly, Paula got me through many years of bathrobes. It just there became a point where then I had to upgrade.
You want to step it up.
That's just so I could go to the places and be in the. It is Hollywood after all, but
Yeah.
sure.
Paula's bathrobes are amazing. I don't know if you know about her Paula special dolphin vagina scented candles. They're really good.
I mean, they are.
Yeah, she sent one with my first bathrobe purchase.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was really thrown off because who wants a dolphin vagina scented?
But who knows what
Candle.
that smells like
well,
until you
that's
get
what I
my
was going to
candle.
ask you.
You don't
And
know.
how did you find what a dolphin vagina even smells like, Paula?
I just guessed.
It's briny.
Yeah.
Like you're down at the wharf with a scent of just sort of sour perfume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very like that
interesting.
Seattle Harbor
Yes.
smell.
that's right.
But honestly, it just now you kind of get used to the smell. And now I don't order bathrobes, but I do order the
He keeps getting the
vagina
candles.
dolphin scented
Yeah.
candles.
They keep coming.
And when people come to your house, they say, briny.
Yeah.
And that's
they do.
No, ironically, they say, vagina
Vagina.
dolphin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they really, that's actually.
They nail it.
It's
They're
one
like,
of
is
those
that
things.
dolphin vagina? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. You smell it and you just know what it is.
Yeah, especially it's like, what's crazy is my boys from the hood are the ones who get it the most. Like, it's not even just
They
like,
get it.
yeah.
They know.
Well, that makes sense.
Because they're the real salt of the earth people.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
me. So we're going chronologically a little bit.
Well, we're jumping around, but okay. So here's what I want to know: when you say late in school, you're talking about college school. This is when you kind of start to know I might be able to
literally
do this for
law
a living.
school. So I
Okay.
had gone through college, master's, law school, and then was
Holy
like,
moly.
I want to do something. Well, the path was actually to be involved. And the more involved I got, I was like, how can I actually feel like I make a difference? And I found that in comedy.
this is the way because people aren't expecting it. It's almost like sidewinder. Like I think in your comedy, it's like, oh, this is really funny. I love this guy. He's very charismatic. But there's usually like, there's a moment of realization and enlightenment, I think.
Okay.
I think that's the way to do it. But
Sure.
I have a question about schools. How did you do all that studying without like your brain exploding and sitting and
It's a lot
writing
of
and typing
learning.
and reading?
Yeah, I did a lot of reading and typing and learning. And actually, I went to school because I wanted to read and type and learn. I feel
like doing it.
Exactly. A lot of people go to school just to put it on their resume.
Yeah.
And I was raised that everybody, especially in the United States where we do have access to higher education, every single person, especially minorities, should seek higher education and be as learned and educated as possible.
Wow. I was not accepted to any universities except one, which was the Women's Journalism University of Women's Studies in the Panama Canal. And it was very experiential. So I didn't do a lot of writing. We would just go around and interview people around the canal.
Isn't that school just for like Latinx people? Are you?
Well, there's Latinx, there's Armenian, okay? There's Russian, there's south of the border, there's north of the border, there's east of
People
the border,
from all over come
and
there.
west of the border.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that kind of just means everyone, yeah?
exactly.
Yeah, I think everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right. Here's what I want to know. I get it. I get saying, hey, I'm gonna do comedy, because I want to, maybe this is where I can make a difference. Maybe I can say something that matters. But what you walk into, are you typing up a paper on law things, and then you say, hey, I'm walking into a stand-up club and I'm putting my name in, I'm going to try something. Like, how does that happen?
So here's the thing. I was actually watching television, which I tend to do a lot, more than I should. And I was watching this show on Fuse Network, which is Canadian MTV at the time. Oh. I have no idea why I even have this channel. I just had every channel you could have. And I see this comedian whose name is Mikey Winfield doing comedy and then bringing up music videos. And I literally saw someone, he's like this very charismatic, brown-skinned, beautiful man with a beautiful smile who's just funny and just so full of like positive energy. And I literally saw someone who I felt kind of resonated with me, and I was like, if they can do it, I can do it as well. And that's why representation is so important.
You got to see yourself.
That's right.
You see yourself, you can be yourself. And so I found out he was performing at the Laugh Factory that weekend, and I flew to LA.
Wow.
And was like, I'm going to meet him. I'm going to meet him and I'm going to ask him questions. Met the owner of the Laugh Factory, and that's basically how I started. I was given an opportunity. He asked me what I do. I said comedy, and I reached, I did that whole shoot for the stars, end up on the moon thing. And
then you have to hustle home and go like, what am I going to say the first time I do this?
It's interesting. The first time, because I didn't even know better, I just said everything I wanted to say. Now I actually realize how comedy works. But at that time, I was just throwing things out.
So because you have so much schooling, do you take a lot of time writing all of your material? Or do you find it sort of more in the moment?
Improvisation.
Do
you do any improvisation?
Yes, he does.
I do a lot. It's probably 50-50 or 80-20 more of that in the moment. I'm a more in the moment person, but I also never negate the writing. Writing is extremely important in comedy. It's a very important aspect of comedy. And so I'm always writing, I'm always observing, I'm always like, I'm even with you three, I'm paying attention.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It's affecting me. So I have a question that's not exactly particularly what you might want.
Is it about skincare?
No, it's about the skincare, but how you must be an incredibly generous lover and person to be.
We've never asked this question.
It's getting to skincare.
Exactly.
I appreciate that. I try to be.
Because he's observant.
He's attentive. He knows what's going on.
He's listening.
He's listening. He knows what's going on. He's kind. So I can't lie.
He picks up on energies.
I know, but I'm feeling it. This is a rare moment where I'm actually feeling it in my body as I sit here, and I just have to cross the legs a little tighter.
Oh, jeez.
Skin to skincare. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I do try to. Well, first of all, I think that's very important to be a good lover. I'm actually surprised by how many people are not generous in love.
Yes.
They're selfish lovers, and I just don't understand that, number one. Number two, as the way that I find my energy and my satisfaction in love is by being a generous lover.
Yes.
Like that's what I like. So it just works out.
You and I would never work together because I'm like, hey, I got things to do.
That actually that works out perfect because I'm like, let's make this happen for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have to take a long time. It's not that you need to take a long time.
Because you're going to check in and find out what you need.
All right.
Exactly. It's all dependent.
Sometimes what I want is like, don't look at me. Let's go.
Right.
Let's get it done quickly. That's sometimes what I need. So then you would do that. You would say, okay,
me in my tool shed.
I'll look the other way. That's good.
I'll look away. What do
that.
you need? Help me help you.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of what I do with my comedy, and that's what I do just in general. It's not a lot of people do a lot of performative. I'm not performative.
He's the real deal.
I try to be the real me. It's not about being the real deal. It's not like, oh, I'm this great person, but I can be the greatest me.
I think because
that's
and I'm learning all kinds of things from my guests, and this is really blowing my mind. But you're able to be in touch with others because you are in touch with yourself. And now I have a question. When you are that moment where before you book a ticket to fly to Los Angeles to see this person who just inspired you on television, what is that moment that gets you on the plane? Because a lot of people have, maybe a spark of inspiration, but they sit on it and they squash it.
They can't do it.
they can't
Yeah,
do it.
fear, maybe?
You know, I've experienced this once. It's when I got in my Cadillac Escalade and drove to Simi Valley to audition for Cats. I had a spark of inspiration and I did it. And it happened once, but I don't know what that was about.
How did it go?
Well, that's how we met.
Yeah. Well, I met Lana that way. We weren't cast in.
They were background. They got background cats.
Background cats. We were background cats.
We were trying to do, be celebrities, really, and actors, and it's really not working out. And when it doesn't work out for me and I get the no's, like I had an audition the other day for a phone company.
You didn't tell me this.
Yes.
Why didn't you call me?
Because I didn't want you to then call and say, oh, I want to go in too. Okay?
Okay.
A phone company, I blew it. It was awful. As I was leaving the room, I heard them go, whew, ugh. And I wanted to get in bed all day and pull the covers and close the curtains. How do you get this spark and get, I don't know if you've ever been rejected.
Through.
Have you ever had rejection in your life?
A lot, yes.
But yet you're still standing and
Okay,
shining.
can he please answer the initial question?
The spark.
The spark.
Dear Lord.
So when it comes to the spark, I have a personal philosophy. So have you ever heard of YOLO?
Yeah. You only
That's how I know.
you only live once.
You only live once.
Felicity. I
It's-
don't know how you don't know that.
Thank
It's really kind of a hip hoppy term. So
Sure.
hip hop is a genre of music.
Oh,
I
thank
had
you.
a
I wasn't
boyfriend,
sure.
and his motto was YOLO, you only lick once, if you know what that means. I was like, he was not generous. He was going to give it one try, and that was it. But go on.
You should choose better.
Yeah.
You should choose better.
Yeah.
But the idea of you only live once, I feel like, well, as far as we know, we only get to live once.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live it right, that's all you need. So I will take chances, and the best bet you can typically make is on yourself. So even with your auditions, when you go, be the best cats you could be. Like, what was the cat that you presented? Where was the cat?
This is a question you've never been asked, and I think it's a good question. What was the cat you presented?
I wanted to be the sexy cat. And I went in there like this, and I was making eyes at them and saying, meow, and they were like, that's not in the script.
Did you exude that was the sexuality because that was a little
Yeah, that didn't feel sexy. It felt aggressive.
You're kidding.
No, that did not feel
the
sexy.
scrunched eye thing. I can see squint eye is more sexy. Scrunched eye is more.
I'm sexy. I'm coming in, and I'm a meow cat. That's not sexy?
No, that sounds like you're meow gonna
You're gonna hurt
murder
somebody.
That's
yeah.
when we talked about. I don't know
Yeah.
why we've talked about murder so much
okay.
just today, but this just
Notes.
seems to be.
It keeps coming
Those are
around.
good notes.
And for me, they asked me, how are you going to present as a cat?
Oh no! Did you lift a leg?
That's what I know. You know, if
You
I've
know
learned
about
one
a-
thing, it's use what you know.
I'm so
So
sorry. You
You were
urinated?
were you showing them how you clean yourself? What were you showing them?
I presented, I lifted my tail. And then they said, but, okay. And do you have a song prepared? And I did not. So, I did. I just sang the first thing that came to my head, which was Dumb Dog
From Annie.
from Annie. So, you know, sometimes you get a spark and you follow through and you don't meet the owner of the Laugh Factory. Sometimes you show too much of your nether regions and sing the wrong song.
It happens, but that's the point. Is if at first you don't succeed, try again. A lot of times in life, most people they want to do something, but they don't realize. Like for example, right now this door is. A couple feet away from me. If I ran to the door, it might take me 1 second. If I walked there, it'll take me 5 seconds. If I crawled there, it would take me 10 seconds. But if I just sat in the chair that I'm in and I went to get to that door and I kept saying, I want to go to that door, but I never got up from the chair, I would never get there. And unfortunately, that's what most people are. That's how most people are. And that's how they're conditioned to be, actually.
I'm knocked out.
I'm blinded by that story.
Well-
Seriously.
It wasn't a story. It was
I know, but I mean, what a lesson for life.
was
How
an
many of
incredible
us are
lesson.
sitting far away from something or close and saying, well, I want that, but they're not doing anything.
They're not. Most people just tend not to. Most people just, it's more comfortable to just stay where you are because we are afraid of that rejection. We're afraid of failure, but we shouldn't be.
Now, when you say we're conditioned to act that way, does that mean we don't take responsibility for our inaction?
I feel that we are taught, for example, by our parents who also were conditioned that way. They tell us to, you color outside the line, and sometimes they tell you not to. And some of the greatest artists are the ones who colored outside the line. So we should encourage sparks. And that's within reason. I'm not just saying have lofty, unreasonable
Or
goals.
go murder.
But no murder, no more murder. But the idea of you both getting up, you getting in that Escalade and going to Simi Valley and auditioning for Cats, that's amazing. That's,
I
most
was in
people
a
wouldn't even do
shared.
that.
I was in a Uber share. I don't have an Escalade, so I took an Uber share, and I still got there.
I just want to say that everything he's saying is what I did. I'm the perfect example of this because I worked the grounds at your child's school when you asked me if I ever produced anything before.
Right.
And I just quit that job and I came to be a producer. So,
Okay, well,
if-
congratulations. You're
thank
not,
you.
You're not
Yeah.
the guest of the day.
Well, what I'm saying
but
is,
that's-
if you need inspiration and he's not here, he's not going to be here every day.
I'm going to post a picture of him and everything I look at.
Oh, you'll
For
look at it every
inspiration.
day.
You were the groundskeeper at Felicity's child. Which
That's right.
child?
One of
Seven
the
of them.
boys. One of the boys.
Seven of
Seven
ten.
of the boys go there.
He says 7 of them go there.
No,
Yeah.
7.
One is particularly slow and
In movement.
His feet
He's in
go
movement,
wrong. His feet
physically.
are wrong.
yeah. Some would say it's because he only eats pork products. I don't
Some kids have that. They just like to eat one thing. There's
That's
nothing
true.
you can do about it.
Thank you. That's the most supportive thing you've ever said.
So when was the moment transitioning here when you felt some of these sparks and follow through was paying off?
Well, and can I even be more specific?
Yeah.
When's the first time you go, I got paid for this thing that I want to do?
So-
How long does that take?
The reason we say starving artist is because you do starve.
You are starving. Yeah.
You are starving. So I left a lot of comfort in Washington, D.C. to come to L.A., which is all the way across the country. And I was starving, but I was also hustling. And so that hustle worked off. And eventually I started getting paid. I worked in deals. I got on a national television show and from there just have been taking those steps. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm definitely in the right direction.
But you're all over. And you're even on some international television shows.
I'm on international.
Yeah. I
because
mean,
you speak multiple languages.
I do.
Can I tell you what's coming for you? Because I see the future. I don't know if I told any of you this, but I can see the future. 2024 in particular, I see it. It's coming. TV shows, films,
his own TV show.
sure, all of it. But I just see, it's the international world probably already knows. But this, the Hollywood is going to stand up
It's
and
going to
take
start
notice
paying
this
attention
year.
because listen, we meet a lot of
feel it.
comedians, but not so many of them have the knowledge, wisdom
Yeah.
that you clearly have.
Yeah.
Paula, from your mouth to Felicity's God's ears.
That's right.
Have you ever been what's it called when you're doing a comedy set and someone yells out something?
Heckled.
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 Yeah, what do you do with the heckler?
Well, some comedians are not good with dealing with people.
Sure.
Yeah.
And fortunately for myself, dealing with the audience is one of my stronger suits. So that works very well in my comedy.
Yeah.
Not that I encourage heckling, but I handle it.
Well, you in what I've seen, you win people over because you're more having a conversation with them and they're like, "Oh, I'm having a conversation with this guy and I want to hear what he has to say," instead of like speaking down to them. And that happens sometimes.
Well,
in
that goes
comedy.
back to the kindness you see.
And the listening.
Yeah, and the listening. And I can't believe it.
No,
But
don't
yeah,
say it.
it's
no,
true.
please don't say this.
We're already coming up
No.
on our time.
Tehran,
We don't have to rush,
I can't,
but it's
I've never
happening.
felt like I just need. How do we listen and find you every day of our lives?
Yeah.
Well, I am at the Laugh Factory every Thursday. It's Tehran Thursday. It's the second longest running show at the Laugh Factory. So
Field
I've been
trip.
doing it.
Let's
Field
do
trip.
it,
We're
ladies.
gonna do a field
We're gonna
trip.
come.
It's a very good time. It may not be the funniest show you've ever seen, but I promise it's the funnest show you will ever
I don't know. I
experience.
was laughing pretty hard when I hear your comedy.
It's
I
fun.
wouldn't. Yeah, it's very funny. It's very funny.
I'll come.
Thank you.
I'll heckle you, and for practice.
Yeah.
Paula, I would expect nothing less from
Okay,
you.
great. As we always do with many of our guests, and you've already said so much that I think any aspiring artist can take. But what if there's a little Tehran out there who, is thinking, hey, maybe I want to be in the entertainment business. Maybe I want to be a painter. Maybe I want to be something that, I kind of can't imagine yet. What do you give them for advice?
Honestly, I don't even need to give them advice. The best advice of all time is already out there. Nike, who is one of the biggest brands in the world, has the most ubiquitous saying of all time: "Just do it."
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Most times you'll overthink. And here's the thing about overthinking. You will overthink yourself out of happiness all the time, but very rarely will you ever think yourself into happiness. So don't overthink. Just do it.
Yeah, get up off the couch and open the door.
Yeah.
And that
crawl.
doesn't mean just do it without a plan. Have a plan, have goals, have a vision, have direction, but just do it. Slow motion is better than no motion.
Ooh.
You know that song, Slow Motion for Me? Slow Motion for Me? You know that song?
I don't know.
I know that song.
Slow Motion for Me?
Do you sing it all?
I don't.
I
don't
love it.
sing.
Okay.
Not that song.
It's very sexual.
Okay.
Wait,
Well,
can I
we
ask
get
one
it.
more question?
Sure.
I think that the world needs more Tehran. And are you writing anything? Are you making shows? And
I am currently in production for an animated show, and then I also have a sitcom show that's also. So hopefully those from step A to step Z in Hollywood is very
Can be
far
years.
and in between. Exactly. So that's the thing. And that's also how it goes for any of your dreams. You have to stick with it. You have to stay in it. You can't just think, oh, I'll try it half a second. Then there's a lot of work. There's a lot of practice. Practice makes perfect. So you keep practicing that sexy cat.
You.
Oh,
Yeah. with direction. Practice with
Yes.
direction.
Okay, okay.
I'll coach you. All right.
God, I wish we could talk for 10 more
10
hours.
more hours, please.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for having me.
Tehran
Thank
von
you.
GHASRI.
Thank you, Paula, Felicity, Lana Brown.
Yeah, thank you.
Multiple Talking Women is hosted by Lauren Burns, Ariane Price, and Lisa Shurga, and produced by Cara Fano and Amelia Misko at Stampede Ventures for the Stampede Podcast Network. Okay, I'm done now.